Hello everyone, we are live once again here in the Blue-Emu Offline Stock Cup Series, but this time not from the United States, we are in Canada. It is the Maple Leaf 26 from Mosport. So I am joined here in the booth today with Jacob Rose as... Hello Jacob.
Hello, thanks for inviting me along. First time in the commentary booth in a while, real excited to be here. First one for the series, hopefully I'm invited back after this week.
So we do have a new few old returning and some new faces in the field. Of course, with the incident between Cody Goforth and Jake Rose at last week's race in Phoenix, we see Rose Neel taking up the number 12 for the injured Goforth. This is for this week only. And then we will also see Hunter and Adam Mitchell split time in the 82, but Hunter failed to get the 82 in this week. Also, Blaze Aitken moves into the 91 as the 97 is not attempting the road courses, and Rourke Gussel makes his triumphant return for Logan Sport Williams. Now let's take a look through your starting grid. So, alright, Vincent David in the number 85 Discord Chevrolet Camaro is on pole, and to his outside is the 63 Mercedes AMG of Rourke Gussel. And then it is Blake Inaki and Nonigan Scott in row 2, a pair of Chevys, the 07 of Derek Hamill, two-time winner so far, and the 1 of Henry Williams in row 3. Row 4 is Cody Smart and Blaze Aitken, and row 5 is the 68 of Zachariah Armstrong next to the 9 of Rafiq Rizana. Row 6 is a pair of Mercedes Rich Doan and Jackson Kelsey. Row 7 is the 25 for Riley Wilkin with the 76 Noah Clifton. Row 8 sees the 89 of John McFadden and the 36 of Renan Issip. And then row 9 is Ryan Keith alongside Patrick Starr. Rounding out the top 20, we see Ricky Freeman Jr. and Ryan Llewellyn. Row 11 is Devin Fair making his BOSC debut next to Nixon DeMille. And row 12 is Kevin Hulkenberg alongside Bailey Pendergast. Row 13, Chris Fristed, Brock Nelson. And row 14 is Wyatt Qualley alongside Timothy Mckenzie. Rounding out the top 30, we see Theo Splitzer and Arthur Xavier. And then in row 16, it's Nelson Reeves next to Felix Jansen. Row 17 is Brad Stover and Brad Stover and Chrissy Splitzer, followed by Tommy Rollo and Abraham Geertz, followed by Josh King, Christian Capasando, Ryan Benjamin, Bradley Ream, and Tim Pitch round out the field. So, who do you have for your pick here today, Rue?
It's real hard to pick. There are quite a few ringers. Of course, you got to take the pole sitter here, Rourke Gussel. I am real bad at pronunciating. You will learn throughout the race to those watching. But I have to take the 63. Faster in qualifying, shown decent pace during practice. I expect the 63 to win this race.
Alright, and I am going to second you
Drivers,
on
start your
Rourke Gussel
engines!
in that 63 car. Of course, he won the Daytona Go or Go Home qualifier race. The Williams team clearly have shown the pace on the road courses, but like also Rose said, watch out for those ringers such as Zachariah Armstrong and Rose Neel as well. These cars are rolling, and speaking of Mercedes, it's not going to start well for the 38 of Arthur Xavier.
That is not a good sign for the other Mercedes in the field.
Yeah, that's an engine gone on the 38. We saw, of course, Toyota had some pretty serious reliability issues last week at Phoenix, but this week it looks to be Mercedes as we're going to go green anyway. Coming around the final corner, it's going to be Vincent David and Rourke Gussel leading us to green. Green flag is out here for Mosport.
85 gets a pretty decent jump into turn 1. Rourke Gussel
sideline really did not get going. Not against Scott's up to second. Looks like
the outside at turn 1 is for sure not the recommended line. Cars running wide already through turn number 3.
As Arthur Xavier's officially out, it's confirmed a gearbox issue on his Buffalo Wild Wings 38.
Unfortunate start, seems like just shifted it in gear and it blew out before even rolling.
Nonigan Scott and Roach Gussel, the two Brits in Mercedes, battle for second. Meanwhile, behind it's Henry Williams and Derek Hamilton. Blaze Aitken had a great start. He's already up here. As Vincent David begins to drive away here at Mosport.
Now I'm kind of starting to second guess my pick already after lap 1. The 85 is a whole lot faster than what I honestly expected. Sure, qualified it technically inside pole at this track, but that is a massive lead for just lap 1.
We look further back here. This is Rookie of the Year leader currently Cody Smart. Ran one race last season at Rockingham. He's up here in the top 10. As we look further down the grid, sees Zachariah Armstrong making up positions early here. There's Ryan Keefe, Kevin Hulkenberg. As currently rounding out this field is the 99 of Tim Pitch, running for Rookie of the Year honors as well. Vincent David building up quite the lead here.
As seen on ticker, already out to over a second lead on lap 1. That could be with Nonigan Scott and Gord. Jesus, my pronunciation. Thank you. But yeah, with those two battling, it definitely let the 85 get out to a big lead. But the other Mercedes of Nonigan Scott looks to be closing at a pretty rapid rate on lap 2.
And here's a face that everyone should take note of. That is the 07 Derek Hamill. Already won 2 races this season. He of course won at Rockingham and then last week at Phoenix. He is looking to make it 3 and 2 in a row for himself. Could he catch George Gusso, then following up with Nonigan Scott?
I feel like he would definitely have the time. I don't know about challenging the leader. It is still very early on in the race, but he has over a 2-second deficit to make up.
As just outside of this top 5, we see Blaze Aitken. He's making his first start with Rebel Racing after starting the season with his cell phone Flying Aces International. And so far, it's been a good start for him. Had a great qualifying run after having to put it through Go or Go Homer. And he is up here. Going to probably be a great points finish for that 91 team.
If I remember correctly, he was the highest Go or Go Homer qualifier for this week. Or, well, not in the Go or Go Home session, but for the actual qualifying session.
That would be George Gussel. Technically, he's on a part-time schedule, but of the full-timers, I believe it was Blaze Aitken. As looking at a battle here between Derek Hamill and Henry Williams. The one in the 07 saw plenty of battling last week and at Rockingham, and they're doing battle here again. This is for 3rd place.
Commentator curse, or 4th?
4th place, sorry.
Maybe? I thought the 63 made it past the 86, but ironically, right as I was talking good about Hamill and how he could charge through the field, he's starting to drop spots. First week in the booth, and I'm already causing commentators curse.
Henry Williams gets by the 07. The 07 going to try to nip back on the inside, but it's not to be. As looking back up at the front, Nonigan Scott still trying to chase down the runaway Vincent David. He drives for Otts Racing, which is Renan Issip's team. I mean, like, it was a respectable first season. The 85 didn't make the playoffs despite not picking up a win. I guess he's looking to change that here, and he is definitely on the pace to do so.
And Nonigan closed in by about 2/10 on lap 2, but the 85 has expanded the lead greater than what it was on lap 1, barring some kind of mechanical failure, which hopefully I don't cause that. The 95 or 85 looks set to go on to win this race.
We saw it last season at this race at Mosport. Christian Capasanda took pole and then led every lap for the win. I mean, like, really is pole sitter getting the win, as it looks like it could be the same thing here.
Yeah, gained about half a second that lap, which is absolutely insane for a road course.
Okay, there looks to be... Okay, hold on. Can't quite see who that is because of this ticker, but someone's really off the pace. Looks like 3 seconds back. Looks like it's probably the 42 here of Ream, as some dirt gets kicked up there by the 99 to 10 pitch. As Rose Neel really not having a great debut, really stuck back here in that Savage Racing number 12. It's overall not been a great season so far for Cody Goforth's team, and it does not look like that it is going in the right direction.
And Rose Neel was not supposed to make her debut. This was a sudden call-up by Savage Racing and Cody Goforth following the incident at Phoenix. Albeit being a road course ringer, this has not been a good showing. Going to drop back to last now with the move done by the 42. With the 42 looking for a move.
And moving a bit further up the field, we see the 30 of Abraham Geertz nearly into the 99 and 10 pitch there. But Geertz is another driver who's come under fire from team owner Ricky Freeman Jr. For poor performances. It looks like that he'll be able to keep his ride at least for now, but it's unknown how much longer the Canadian will be able to keep that seat. So he's currently running here in the back.
You see, that is not what the team owner would like to see. The car running back in about 30th or 35th to 40th place.
So we look back up the order, a bit more of a feel-good story. This 81 of Timothy Mckenzie only made one race so far at Daytona. A string of DNQs and bad luck for that Accelerate Motorsports team owned by Riley Wilkin, another one of the many new teams here on the grid. For his home race, he managed to put the car in and was running well so far, ahead of guys like Brad Stover and Nelson Reeves, both Rookie of the Year contenders that he needs to get by. And then a bit further up, we see the 95 of Bailey Pendergast, who's currently second in the Rookie of the Year standings to Cody Smart. So definitely a great job done so far by that 81 team.
Looks to be, the 85 has expanded the lead by another 1.1 seconds from the last time I've checked. It's about still 5 laps to go, but that is a massive lead.
So while the 85 continues to expand his lead, we're going to step aside and take a quick commercial break. We'll see you back here at Mosport for the continuation of the Maple Leaf 26. Alright, we are back from Mosport, and I mean, like, as you can see, not much has changed. Vincent David still expanding his lead over Nonigan Scott. As we look down the order, we see that the 07 has really begun to slip back here. He's now behind Blake Ganake and is now under fire from Noah Clifton. It's the 07 now really struggling. A few other cars here. As looking further down the order, see guys like Tommy Rollo, Chrissy Spletzer there, Theo Spletzer, just all not having a great time as Ream running that corner quite really wide. Rose Neel
too wide through some of these corners is not recommended.
It's been a heyday out front here for Vincent David, and there's only 4 laps to go. Well, we don't want to say that he's quite home free, but it's looking increasingly as such. Otts Racing could pick up their first win here.
I feel like if a caution were to come out, it would end the race. Either that or it would be a one-lap shootout, which the 85 has no need to worry about pulling out another 0.4 of a second on that lap alone.
As you can barely see in the camera angle there, the 86 of Nottingham Scott trying to chase down the 85 of Vincent David. Nottingham Scott has shown that he is a good driver when on qualifying day, but just never has seemed to have the race pace. 7 poles to his name and still no points paying wins. He did pick up a win in his duel this season, but that doesn't count towards points. It would be interesting to see him pick up his first win here, but he's going to need to do a lot to catch that 85, or hope for a miracle.
He's going to need to do a lot, and he is more, or not more than definitely, he is going to need a miracle as we're coming to 2 laps to go.
2 laps to go, and Vincent David, one of the drivers to make the Season 1 chase, he is out front. He is looking to pick up a win. While it won't punch his ticket to the chase, as long as he can keep this consistent driving up, he should be able to make it back there. As we're going to see 2 laps to go for the number 85 Discord Chevrolet Camaro.
And most definitely for sure, if a caution were to come out, that would be race over. And I think he even gained another half a second on that lap as well. Either that or he maybe lost a tenth of a second. At this point, he's 4 seconds out. There's no need to worry about time. Just run your race and hope for the best.
There's not much to report right now as David continues to break away. Henry Williams has quite the gap back there in 4th. Back to 5th place, Blaze Aitken, Cody Smart, Blake Kanaki, Derek Hamill, Noah Clifton, and Zachariah Armstrong round out your top 10.
Derek Hamill has thankfully been able to stop his skid through the field at 8th place. At one point, we both thought he was going to be able to contend for at least 2nd place, but now it seems like he's just going to be able to contend for a top 10.
As we check back on the rear here, and it is still, and this is not good for Dodge, it is 3 Dodges back here. That's Tim Pitch, Bradley Ream, and Rose Neel. Cody Goforth will be back in this number 12 next weekend at Watkins Glen, but it's not looking like it's going to be a good first outing for Rose Neel.
No, it is not a good first outing. Poor Savage Racing, of course, losing their team owner and driver to a concussion for 1 week and then running last the very next, as the 85 has taken the white flag and gained another 0.4 of a second.
1 lap to go here for Vincent David in the number 85. It's been a strong race for him and his Otts Racing crew, still searching for their first win. Well, they could get it here today. Just a few more.
Barring anything that happens down the straightaway and through the final 3 corners, this has been a dominant showing, flag-to-flag victory.
This has to hit his marks, and Vincent David will add to the names of all the BOSC winners so far in our 2 seasons of running through the final few corners. No issues on the 85 to report. Through the final corner, it is over. Vincent David wins here at Mosport. Not against Scott gonna come home second, then George Gussel, Henry Williams, and Blaze Aitken rounding out your top 5. And Smart, Ganaki, Hamill, Clifton, and Armstrong round out the top 10. Good showing all around for Otts Racing. As they'll get
for a road course, they'll
get to pick up their first victory in the BOSC, as Jackson Kelsey is quite far off the pace. Something clearly happened to the 19, as so it looks like that the 19 had to pit, and the 5 of Ricky Freeman Jr. was losing fuel quickly, but the 5 was able to cross the line and not need to pit. It's lucky for them. But that is it for Mosport as we look through our final results, or at least the top half of the grid. It's Vincent David taking the win, followed by Nonigan Scott, Roach Gussel, Henry Williams, Blaze Aitken, Cody Smart, Blake Ganaki, Derek Hamill, Noah Clifton, Zachariah Armstrong. Then the 2 Wolf cars of Rafiq Razana and Ryan Keith, Rich Doan, Kevin Hulkenberg, Ryan Llewellyn, Nixon DeMille, Riley Wilkin, Ricky Freeman Jr., John McFadden, Bailey Pendergast, and hometown hero Timothy Mckenzie round out the top half of the grid. So that is it from Mosport. We will see you next weekend for Watkins Glen in another of the classic BOSC West Coast Swing. until then, this has been Ash Jacobson and Jacob Rose up in the booth. We'll catch you next time.